she said. "I want to see what else is out there. You'll still be here if I come back." So I changed my locks. Now she's locked out of my life, literally. Hey viewers, before we move on to the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you want to see more stories like this. Thanks. I used to think that being a safe partner was a compliment. Steady, loyal, the kind of guy who shows up when he says he will, who listens, who remembers your favorite wine, and who actually means it when he says, "Text me when you get home." I thought that made me a catch. Apparently, to Kayla, it made me plan B. We had been together for just over 2.5 years. I met her at a friend's rooftop party, back when she was in the middle of changing jobs for the third time in a year. She was charismatic in that messy, intoxicating way, big laugh, chaotic energy, phone always lighting up. I was quieter, more grounded. I'm a software developer, pretty introverted, not the life of the party. But something about her drew me in, and she said I made her feel safe for the first time in her life. Looking back, I should have realized that safe was just her code for predictable. I helped her get her finances in order after she admitted she was drowning in credit card debt. I let her move in with me rent-free when her roommate situation went south. I stayed up late when she was spiraling about work, about her mom, about friends ghosting her. I was there through the meltdowns and the makeup tears. That's not me bragging, just context. Things started shifting around 6 months before everything blew up. She got a new job in digital branding at a co-working space downtown, and suddenly every night became team drinks, influencer events, and wellness mixers. Her new friends were all about open vibes, casual hookups, and keeping your energy free. I didn't care about the late nights at first. I trusted her. But then the comments started. "You're lucky I'm not one of those girls who cheats, you know? I just think people weren't meant to mate for life. I mean, biologically speaking. You're like, reliable. I don't have to worry about you." I laughed the first few times. Figured it was just her being dramatic, like always. But the more she said it, the more it felt like a prelude. Then came the gym guy. His name was Zeke or Zach or something that sounded like a pre-workout brand. She met him at the fitness studio her new job gave her a free membership to. Suddenly, she was doing partner workouts, going to recovery smoothies, and talking about how motivated he made her feel. "Don't be weird," she said once when I asked if something was going on. "He's just energy. You're home." At the time, I thought that was supposed to be reassuring. Then, one Thursday night, she came home late. Like after midnight late. I was in bed already, half asleep. I heard her heels on the hardwood, the fridge door open, a clink of the wine bottle. She came into the bedroom without turning on the lights and stood there for a second. "I need to talk to you," she said. I turned on the lamp. She looked too composed. Sober, too. This wasn't a drunk ramble. Whatever was coming, she meant it. "I've been thinking," she began, "and I feel like I'm not done exploring." Exploring what? People. Myself. What's out there? I don't want to cheat. I just want to experience life more fully. And I feel like we've gotten so settled. I didn't say anything. "I'm not saying we should break up," she added quickly. "I just think maybe I should be allowed to explore a little. You'll still be here if I come back, right?" I blinked at her. "What?" She sat down at the edge of the bed like we were discussing weekend plans. "You're my safe space. You're always steady. I know you love me. And I love you too. But I want to see what else is out there. If I realize I made a mistake, I want to be able to come back to this. To you." I was so stunned I almost laughed. "You want to keep me around while you try out other guys?" "No. I mean, yes, but not like that. I don't want to lose this. Us. You. You already did," I said quietly. She blinked, thrown. "Brandon, come on. Don't be dramatic. You're just afraid I'll find someone better." I didn't argue. I didn't scream or throw things or beg her to stay. I just nodded, stood up, and said, "Thanks for being honest." That was it. I went to sleep on the couch. The next morning, she acted like things were still in limbo. Gave me a soft smile as she packed a bag, kissed me on the cheek like we were on pause. "I'll text you," she said. "I just need some time to figure things out." I didn't reply. I didn't have to. I already knew she'd find out soon enough. Whatever she thought was out there waiting for her. It wasn't better than what she walked away from. The next morning, I changed the locks. I didn't slam doors. I didn't post anything online. I didn't even tell our mutual friends. I just quietly removed her key from the hook by the door and scheduled a locksmith. By the time she texted that night to say she'd left her favorite hoodie in the closet, the locks had already been changed and her stuff was in a box, taped up, and waiting at her sister's apartment. She thought this was temporary, a reset, like putting a relationship in storage until she got bored of exploring. She didn't get it yet, but I was done. She had told me exactly who she was. My only job now was to believe her. For about a week, there was silence. I expected the slow burn, the check-ins, the breadcrumb texts. But it came faster than I thought. Day 8. I get a message from an unknown number. "Hey, it's me. I've been thinking a lot. I miss you. Can we talk?" I stared at the screen for a few minutes. My heart didn't race. I didn't feel that familiar twist in my stomach like I used to when she was upset. I just felt tired. So I replied once. "I'm not available anymore. You said you wanted to see what else was out there. I'm not part of the menu." She didn't respond, but I knew she read it. After that, she started reaching out through other people. Mutual friends began hinting that Kayla was going through something. Her coworker messaged me on Instagram saying, "She still loves you. She just got caught up in all that influencer crowd bulls ***. She regrets everything. *** I left it on read. Then came her sister. "She's a mess, Brandon. Like, actually not okay. She cries when your name comes up. I think she thought you'd wait." Exactly. That was the problem. She thought I'd wait. She thought I'd be there like a doormat in boyfriend form. That I'd patiently hold her spot in line while she sampled other guys. What she didn't understand, what people like her never understand, is that quiet doesn't mean weak. Some of us don't explode. We just disappear. Meanwhile, her chaos caught up with her. Zeke, the gym guy, he lasted maybe 3 weeks. Someone saw him making out with another girl at a rooftop party and posted it on a story Kayla was tagged in. I didn't watch it, but a mutual friend did. Said Kayla went ballistic in the comments section and started airing all her drama publicly. That's when her influencer persona started cracking. A brand she worked with pulled a deal after she got into a fight on Twitter with some girl she claimed stole her man. Her roommates got fed up with the drama and kicked her out. She ended up couch hopping between friends, some of whom had warned her not to mess things up with me in the first place. I watched all of this like I was seeing a storm in the distance. It wasn't touching me anymore. I had peace. For the first time in a long time. I went back to the gym, slept 8 hours a night, ate food I liked without someone mocking it for not being aesthetic. I even started taking on a few side projects again, the kind I hadn't had time or emotional space for when I was busy babysitting her crises. And yeah, I went on a few dates. Nothing serious. But I realized pretty quickly that there are women out there who don't weaponize your kindness or test your loyalty like it's a game. Then came the voicemail. She must have found a way around the block, maybe used a different number or a burner app. One day, my phone showed a missed call from a number I didn't know, with a voicemail. I nearly didn't listen, but something told me I should. I hit play. Her voice was raw, like she'd been crying for hours. "Brandon, I know you probably don't want to hear from me. I messed up. Okay, I was stupid. I thought I needed to feel alive, or whatever, and all I did was lose the only person who ever actually loved me. Everyone else just used me or ghosted me. But you never did. You were real. And I didn't see it until now. Please call me back. Just give me a chance to fix this. I'll do anything. I'll go to therapy. I'll cut off anyone you want. Just don't shut me out like this." I didn't respond. Because it wasn't about punishing her. It was about preserving me. She'd had her chance, and not just one. I had stood by her through every meltdown, every impulsive decision, every petty argument she started just to feel something. I gave her the kind of loyalty people beg for. And when she had it, she wanted more. Now she had more. More chaos. More drama. More loneliness. She could keep it. I was done being the safety net for someone who only looked down on me once she stopped falling. About 2 weeks after that voicemail, she showed up at my building. I knew she would eventually. Kayla never liked when doors stayed closed for too long, especially ones she thought she could waltz through whenever it suited her. It was a Saturday afternoon. I had just gotten back from the gym, earbuds in, groceries in hand, when I saw her standing outside the front door of my apartment complex, pulling at the handle like it had betrayed her. When she spotted me, she smiled like nothing had happened. "Finally," she said. "Can we talk?" I didn't stop walking. I tapped the security code and opened the door. She followed behind, still talking like we were just picking up an old conversation. I know I messed up. I shouldn't have said what I said. But I've been thinking about everything, and I realize now how much I took you for granted. I kept walking. She reached for my arm as we stepped into the lobby. Brandon, seriously, just 5 minutes, okay? I turned to her. Calm, unbothered. This isn't the time. Then when is? She snapped, dropping the fake calm. You blocked me everywhere. You gave me zero closure. You think that's fair? You wanted freedom, I said. You got it. Her jaw tightened. Don't act like I cheated on you. I just needed space to figure myself out. You made it very clear, I said, keeping my voice low. You wanted to explore other men. You asked me to wait while you did it. That's not figuring yourself out. That's disrespect. You didn't just want space. You wanted a backup plan. That's not what I meant, she said, voice rising. You twisted it. I nodded toward the stairwell. You should go. She took a deep breath, tried to soften again. Brandon, I didn't know what I had. You were everything. Stable, loving, kind. No one else is like you. I've been treated like garbage since I left. Used, lied to, ghosted. I don't want chaos anymore. I want you. I looked at her, really looked at her. Her hair was unwashed. Her voice shaky. She didn't look like the girl who used to strut into rooms like she owned them. She looked exhausted, fragile, panicked. But none of that moved me. I'm not something you come back to when the world kicks you around, I said. You walked away from peace and then blamed the storm for being cold. Don't talk to me like that, she said, tears brimming. You don't get to act superior. You never even fought for me. I tilted my head. No, I just respected myself. She stared at me like that hit harder than she expected. You think you're better than me now? No, I said. I know I'm better off. I walked past her and into the stairwell, not looking back. I heard her call my name once, just once, but there was no weight to it anymore. No pull. No history worth revisiting. By the time I got to my door, I blocked her number again. This time for good. For a while, I thought that might be the last of it. But when someone's life starts falling apart, they don't just quietly disappear. They flail. They drag others into the unraveling. Even people who've already let go. And Kayla? She wasn't done dragging. A few days later, I got a call from one of her old friends, Maddie. We'd all gone on a couple of double dates back in the day, and she was always the least obnoxious of Kayla's crew. She sounded annoyed, not sympathetic. Hey, just wanted to let you know, she's telling everyone you abandoned her. I raised an eyebrow. Abandoned? Yeah, like, made her homeless or something. She's spinning this whole sob story about how you ghosted her, and she's been emotionally destroyed ever since. She's the one who left, I said flatly. Told me she wanted to see other people. I know, Maddie replied. Trust me, we all know. She tried to make it sound noble, like some journey of self-growth or whatever, but then the Zeke situation happened, and the influencer crap, and now everyone's tired of her. She's still hanging with that crowd. Nope, they dropped her too. She tried to do some kind of brand collab meltdown apology video, and it just made her look worse. Last I heard, she moved back in with her mom. I didn't say anything. She's gonna reach out again, Brandon, Maddie said. Just a heads up. I appreciated the warning. But at this point, I wasn't worried. I had moved on emotionally weeks ago. I hadn't just recovered from what she did. I had rebuilt the parts of my life that she'd quietly eroded. I had peace now. Not silence. Peace. And no matter how loud she got trying to claw her way back in, I wasn't going to let her disturb that again. It wasn't long before Maddie's warning came true. The next Friday night, I got another call from a number I didn't recognize. I let it ring. Voicemail. This time, the message was longer, almost 3 minutes. Her voice cracked halfway through. Brandon, please. Please just let me talk to you. I know I said awful things. I know I was selfish. But I didn't realize what I was doing. I thought the grass was greener, but all I found were liars, users, and fakes. You were the only real thing. Please just meet me. Just once. If you still want to walk away after that, I won't stop you. But please let me fix this. I didn't listen to the rest. I deleted it. The next day, I got a text from her mom. Her mom. Hi, Brandon. I know things ended badly, but Kayla's going through a really hard time right now. She misses you. I think a conversation would help you both heal. I stared at the message, then turned off my phone. This wasn't about healing. It was about control. About rewriting the story to make herself the victim again. She couldn't stand that I didn't crumble. That I didn't wait. So she escalated. Later that week, she emailed me from a new address. I opened it, not because I was curious, but because I wanted to be sure how deep she was willing to dig. The subject line was, "I'm finally ready to do better." Inside, a wall of text. Apologies. Excuses. Blame sprinkled with self-awareness to make it sound sincere. She even listed the changes she'd made, starting therapy, deleting certain friends, reflecting on her attachment style. Near the bottom, she wrote, "I know I treated you like a backup plan, and I hate myself for it. You didn't deserve that. But people can change. I have. And if you ever wanted to try again, even slowly, I would do everything right this time." Then she attached a photo. It was the two of us from a trip we took to Colorado a year ago, standing near a waterfall. She was smiling, arms around me like I was hers. I remembered that moment. I remembered how, not even an hour after that photo was taken, she threw a tantrum in the car because I didn't want to stop for a vegan bakery she'd seen on TikTok. I remembered her calling me rigid and no fun and sulking for the rest of the afternoon. I remembered how hard I tried, even then, to keep things together. And I remembered how little she appreciated any of it. I didn't reply. I archived the message and went back to my day. That weekend, I went to a housewarming party hosted by an old college friend. I almost didn't go. I'm not the most social guy, but something told me it would be good to get out. To just exist in a space where my past wasn't constantly vibrating in my pocket. And I'm glad I did. Because that's the night I met Natalie. She was a graphic designer. Funny, low-key smart. She didn't talk in circles. She didn't pretend to be working on herself while playing 3 different people behind their backs. She asked real questions. Listened to answers. When I mentioned I liked hiking, she didn't roll her eyes or ask how that would look on Instagram. She asked where my favorite trails were. It was easy, which, after Kayla, felt like a miracle. We started seeing each other casually. I didn't rush it. I wasn't looking to prove anything to anyone. But with every conversation, every quiet morning spent together, every unforced laugh, I realized what real connection felt like. And more importantly, I realized what peace felt like. Meanwhile, Kayla kept trying. More emails. A handwritten letter she dropped off at my building's mailroom. Mutual friends saying things like, "She's really serious this time," or "She finally gets it." But I didn't care. Because even if she was finally ready to be a good person, I was no longer interested in being the prize she got once she finished playing games. She had made her choices. And so had I. By the time fall rolled around, I barely thought of her anymore. Natalie and I were planning a trip up north for the weekend, and my calendar was full of work projects, gym sessions, dinners with people who added to my life instead of draining it. That's when I got the invite. A birthday party, mutual friend from college. I hadn't seen half that crowd in over a year, but it was local, and I figured, why not? What I didn't expect was that Kayla would be there too. When I walked in with Natalie, I caught her out of the corner of my eye. She saw us. Her face fell, and just like that, every role reversed. I was no longer the steady boyfriend she took for granted. I was the man she lost, publicly, clearly, and irrevocably. She was standing by the drinks table, alone, dressed up but tired around the edges. Fake smile not quite holding together. She didn't come up to me that night, just stared for a moment too long, then looked away like it hurt to breathe. I didn't acknowledge her. I didn't need to. I had already said everything I needed to say, not in words, but in how completely I had moved on. She was just another person in the room. And that night, surrounded by people who once knew us as a couple, the truth was obvious to everyone. I had rebuilt. She was still sifting through the wreckage she created. A week after that party, she finally broke. I was making coffee on a quiet Sunday morning, Natalie still asleep, sunlight slanting through the blinds, when I got another email from Kayla. Subject line, "You win." That alone was enough for me to know she'd hit her limit. I opened it out of pure curiosity. The message wasn't long this time. No flowery apologies. No fake growth language. Just bitterness. "I saw you with her. I hope she knows how lucky she is. You're not who I remember. You've changed. But maybe that's what you wanted, someone boring enough to never challenge you. You know what? You are safe. That's all you'll ever be. Predictable. And when she gets bored, don't come crying to me." I actually laughed. There it was, the real Kayla. The one who couldn't stand that she lost. The one who spun everything into someone else's fault. Even after everything she'd done, all the pain she caused, she still thought she was the victim because I had the audacity to heal without her. I didn't respond. I didn't need to. But a part of me wondered if she actually believed what she wrote, that safety and stability are boring. That consistency is a flaw. That love only matters when it's chaotic and loud and unstable. Maybe she did. Maybe that's why her life looked the way it did now. Unstable job, fake friends, a revolving door of guys who used her and discarded her like a trend that expired. Because some people only value the fire, even if it burns them every time. Later that week, Maddie texted me again. So, she's in full meltdown mode. Apparently, she messaged like 4 of your coworkers asking if you're single. One of them told her to back off. You good? I replied, perfectly. And I meant it. Because it wasn't just that I had moved on romantically. It wasn't about Natalie, or the new job title I had just earned, or the fact that I was finally sleeping through the night without being woken up by emotional whiplash. It was about the fact that her opinion no longer mattered. Her sadness no longer triggered guilt. Her insults no longer stung. Her voice, once familiar and loud in my head, was now nothing but static. I had done the hardest thing someone in my position could do: not beg, not retaliate, not try to make her see the error of her ways. I had simply walked away and never looked back. And I had stayed gone. I didn't need revenge. I didn't need her to hurt the way I hurt. I just needed her out of my life, and she was. Forever. She tried every door she could think of. She found out I'd changed the locks. She never realized those locks weren't just on my apartment. They were on me. About 2 months after that last bitter email, I got invited to an engagement party. A mutual friend, Jesse, was getting married, and he and his fiancée were throwing a backyard celebration. Nothing too formal. Just good people, good music, and way too much sangria. Natalie came with me, of course. We didn't make a grand entrance or anything. We just showed up a bit late, holding hands, laughing at a dumb inside joke about a dog we saw on the way there. I didn't even think about who might be there. It had been long enough. But as soon as we stepped into the yard, I heard the voice. Oh, Kayla. She was standing near the snack table in a coral dress that tried a little too hard. Next to her was a guy I didn't recognize, tall, overly tan, clearly bored out of his mind. She was frozen mid-step, eyes locked on me, then on Natalie, then back on me. Her fake smile collapsed so fast I actually felt secondhand embarrassment. I didn't flinch. Didn't even tighten my grip on Natalie's hand. Just nodded slightly, like I would to any other acquaintance. We walked past her without stopping. Later, as I stood talking to Jesse by the grill, Kayla approached. Alone this time. The boyfriend, or whatever he was, had vanished. Probably smoked himself into a corner. She hovered near the patio table for a moment, then finally spoke. Got a second? I turned. Sure. Natalie had gone inside to grab drinks. Jesse had conveniently wandered off. Kayla looked me up and down. You look different. I feel different, I said, keeping my tone light but flat. So that's her? Natalie. Yep. She seems safe. There it was. That same smirk, trying to provoke. But it didn't land the way it used to. Yeah, she is. Safe. Kind. Honest. Everything I used to mistake for boring. Kayla's mouth twisted. You used to be more passionate. Less composed. No. I used to be more tolerant, I said, meeting her gaze. Of chaos. Of disrespect. Of being treated like I wasn't enough unless I was in constant emotional debt. She looked like she wanted to argue. But instead, she said, I didn't come here to fight. Then don't. I didn't think you'd move on so fast. I didn't, I said. It was slow. It was hard. It took a lot of nights staring at the ceiling, wondering how I missed so many signs. But when I finally did move on, I meant it. She paused, clearly hoping I'd say something else. I didn't. So that's it, she asked, voice cracking just slightly. You're just done? I smiled. Not out of cruelty. Just clarity. I was done the moment I realized I didn't need to fix something I didn't break. Kayla blinked, then scoffed. Wow, you've got all the quotes now, huh? Got a little therapist girlfriend helping you write them? She doesn't need to, I said calmly. She just shows me what real love looks like. Kayla's face went red, then pale. I made a mistake, okay? You made a choice, I corrected. Over and over again. And now you're living with the outcome. She stood there in silence, arms crossed like a shield. Look, I added, soft but firm. I'm not angry anymore. I don't hate you. I don't wish you harm. I just genuinely don't want you in my life. But we were, and now we're not. With that, I turned back toward the house. Natalie was walking out with 2 glasses of sangria and a knowing smile on her face. She didn't ask what was said. She didn't need to. She just handed me my drink and leaned into me like I was home. I glanced back once. Kayla was still standing there, staring at us. Not angry, not smug, just stunned. Because in her mind, she'd always assumed I'd be the one who missed her, who regretted letting her go, who'd come crawling back when her flame fizzled out. Instead, I replaced the fire with peace. And peace doesn't chase chaos. Ever. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. What do you think about this story? Share it in the comments.